All right, guys, welcome to promotions. Who here is their first promotions? All right, good. Well, welcome. Glad you could make it. Let's talk a little bit about the validity, the value, the worth of promotions. All right. I try to be good with this. Today, I'm feeling kind of froggy, as they say. Promotions are like stickers that you get on your worksheet when you're in third grade. Good job. All right, what's the one that I mentioned? Way to go, champ. Way to go, champ. When it comes to belts and promotions, there's something to be said for when somebody comes in. I just explained this to a couple of guys a couple of moments ago. The addiction to belts it's understandable. It's almost expected, because when somebody comes in and they join, they don't understand anything other than they don't know this. They know, like, when they spar with somebody, they roll with somebody. I don't know it, they know it. It's like a dichotomy. I don't have it yet, they do. They don't understand the difference between this guy and this guy and this guy and this guy. So what they reduce that thing to, because they don't know any other way, is the belts. They look at the wall and they say, oh, those are the belts, all right. So that's how I know I'm getting better. But then what winds up happening after a while is they stop developing that understanding, or they stop looking to develop that subtle understanding and nuance of what their relationship is with the thing, and they go, no, I just need the next belt. I just need the next belt. Because then what happens is something that originally was designed just for, like, organization, like in the military. You know, it's like, well, all right, he's in charge. All right, well, if he gets shot, who's in charge after him? You know, and then that's the ranking system. And it's like, this is a way to just organize all these people. It's like, how do we organize a whole group of people into like a family, a tribe, where they don't know they don't know each other, they don't know anybody? How do you do that? Well, you create ranks. Because then they can say, okay, who are you? Okay, all right, you're in charge of me. Okay, I'm in charge of you. Oh, you're the guy that could give me permission to do this. You know, this is the understanding of what belts and ranks do. But the thing is, there's a certain point where we got to make sure we're not throwing the baby out with the bathwater here. If you suck, it doesn't matter what belt you are. You still suck. What do you want to do? I want to be a black belt. Well, I want to not suck, whether I'm a black belt or not. I want to build a relationship. When you guys all first saw Jiu Jitsu, or you saw MMA, or you saw something that led you to come here, you didn't see some black belt. Man, I want to be a black belt like that. It was either, somebody roughed you up in a parking lot, or somebody's bullying you at school, or, your parents are telling you don't have confidence, or you saw the MMA, you saw the UFC, and you're like, oh, I want to be able to do those things. It had nothing to do with a belt. But then you got here and you see the belt. And I'll be honest, I'm the guy that heads this whole thing. I designed a curriculum and these early belts, right, these entry-level belts. I made it an organizational system to just make sure everybody shows the techniques they're supposed to know. But then it's been a couple of years now, I left the Jiu Jitsu belt system. People still have Jiu Jitsu rank, but we don't wear that in the jungle gym. It's just a green belt until you get a black belt. What's the criteria for getting a black belt? I don't know. I don't know. I know when I see a black belt, it's hard to describe it though, and I've given definitions before, but here's the thing, when it comes to a black belt, it's like I know when somebody's a black belt. But the minute I describe it, I reduce what it actually is. Because anybody that I could say is a black belt, I could also, if I had to think about reasons they're not a black belt. Because we reduce it when we put it on a piece of paper, or we put it on a sign on the wall. We put a list in an email. We said, here, do this. Right? I just made a rule for Jiu Jitsu ranks, not jungle gym ranks, but Jiu Jitsu ranks, to go from one to the other. What do they have to do?
12 wins.
They have to win 12 gi tournaments. So if you're a blue belt in Jiu Jitsu, you want a purple belt? Win 12 blue belt gi tournaments, and then you get a purple belt. That shows how much I don't care. Like, I don't care. I want to get my purple belt, MC. All right, go win 12 competitions, I guess. Because then I can give you a purple belt. I don't care. The only thing I really care about is people not sucking. I don't want people here who are weak. People who make excuses. People who bring bad energy. People who are selfish. That's what I don't want. Oh, everybody's a black belt. There's probably what? A couple dozen people on the mat right now? However many people. Let's say that I just put a black belt on everybody. I could take a picture for the internet, right? Because everybody likes getting approval from strangers. I could put a picture on the internet and I could say, look at my academy, all the black belts I have. You'll see that all the time. Look at my academy, look how many black belts we have on the mat. It's like, who cares? So you got to understand, one of my promotion day pep talks, by the way. You got to understand, it is important to understand what this is. This is not, listen, where all that training is just to get the belt. All that training is just to get the belt. No. We do all that training because of what you get to get from the training. Right? There's this guy, Alan Watts. I like reading his stuff a lot. He had this one thing on learning a language. He goes, the benefit of learning French is that you get to speak French. You get to speak with people in French. You get to learn, you get to read French books. Right? There's a whole world that opens up when you can speak French, as an example. It's not to get an A in French class. It's not to get a degree in French. It's to actually participate in the thing that created a value in the first place. Somehow Jiu-Jitsu became, I want the rank, I want this. No. The great thing about being really good at Jiu-Jitsu is that you get to experience Jiu-Jitsu. It's a game. It's a wonderful thing that you could do and build a relationship with your body, with people, like all of the intricate techniques and details. It's like a never-ending relationship that you could develop. Understand that we make that less when we attribute that whole process to a series of belts. I remember a guy say once that, when you get a black belt, it's the new beginning. Like you start over as a black belt. And before you're a black belt, and some of you guys may be looking at me and, yeah, well, Jesus, you're a black belt already. Jesus, for you already have a black belt. I get it. But I didn't understand when somebody said that early on. I didn't understand what he meant by the black belt being a new beginning. What I understand it to be now is once you get a black belt, you don't have to worry about getting promoted anymore. So you can actually just start training. The whole distraction of the belts is removed to your relationship. If you don't want to train at that level, it's just because you don't want to train. And you'll find a lot of guys, once they reach the rank where they're satisfied, they stop training because they never built a relationship with Jiu-Jitsu in the first place. I'm a lifer. I need to train. I need to be on the mats. I need to do this. Right? It's a part of who I am. There's some people, the old Jiu-Jitsu thing, the joke is the blue belt curse, they call it. Right? In the Jiu-Jitsu ranks, after white belt is blue belt. A lot of people reach blue belt and then they're out. You never see them again. Why? Because they never had a relationship with Jiu-Jitsu to begin with. They just wanted that thing on the wall. I'm not a beginner. That's how they define themselves. They define themselves in relation to who they were when they first walked in. That first day they joined, they were a certain version of themselves. Once they get that rank, I'm not that guy anymore. Which meant they're walking down the path of Jiu-Jitsu, and the whole time they're walking down, they're looking back at when they joined. Am I further enough from him? They're not looking that way. How are they supposed to get excited about where they're going? Here's the thing about defining yourself about a point in your past. You'll never get too far away from it because it's got to stay within your view. Because as soon as you can't see it anymore, you go, am I close to it? Am I further away from it? If you can't see it anymore, how do you know if you made any progress? That's what happens with these people. That's why they quit when they're blue belts. So a bunch of you guys are going to get some belts today. And I'm going to keep doing it until one day I just say the hell with it. All right? It's not going to be today. Don't worry. But just understand, I can't give it to you without you guys understanding that the belts mean absolutely nothing. It's all about your relationship with the thing that we do. And that relationship of belt is just going to get in the way of it. All right, is everyone tracking? Good. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to start off with